Assalamu alaikum. Have a good day. Welcome to Financial Management eLearning. Today, we are going to discuss fundamentals of ethics, corporate governance, and business laws. Is the module 7 is the part of ethical conflict. It is the continuation of my previous modules. So today we will discuss the corporate governance. So learning outcomes should be corporate governance governs, key elements of corporate governance practice in Bangladesh, corporate governance code 2018 is the latest version of corporate governance code from the Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission, and the summary of corporate governance code in short, and report and compliance of corporate reports. So let us start. So corporate governance. The corporate governance is a system of rules, practice, and process by which a company is directed and controlled. Governance comes to mean the generic way that an organization is run, with particular emphasis on accountability, integrity, and in many instances risk management. We say that the system of rules, practices, and process by which a company is directed and controlled. So if we look here with the right side, the principle of goods governance, it would be honesty, transparency, accountability, responsibility, independence, fairness, social responsibility. Corporate governance framework need to reflect the culture, style, and issues of the organization. One size does not fit all. So corporate governance essentially involves balancing the interest of the many stakeholders in a company. This includes the shareholders, management, customers, suppliers, financiers, government, and the community. So corporate governance also provide the framework for attaining a company's objective. It embraces practically every sphere of management and action plan, the internal control to perform measurement and corporate disclosure. So corporate governance is the structure of rules, practice, and process used to direct and manage a company, and a company's board of directors is the primary force of influencing the corporate governance. So pure corporate governance depends on the board of directors' attitude. The corporate governance broadly reflect to the mechanism, process, and relations by which corporate are controlled and directed, and governance structure and principle identifying and distribution of the right and responsibility among different parties in the corporation, such as the board of directors, manager, shareholder, creditor, debtors, regulators, and other stakeholders, and include the rules and procedure for making decision in corporate affairs. In UK, corporate governance was developed by the Committee on the Financial Aspect of Corporate Governance in 1992, the Cadbury Report. Okay, and with the code of best practice attached, It is aimed to be listed companies, but looked especially at standards of corporate behavior. It also reverts to ethics. And we can say that there are key elements of corporate governance. It would be, we know, the one of the companies, it should be should have the vision, mission, goal, a strategy. If we combine with that, that is component of corporate governance should be board and boards committees, legal regulator and system, heritage inter control, policies, procedure, transparency, and is both combination is the one of the interrelated of each other. An element of good corporate governance, you can say, look here, rule and law. Good governance requires fair legal frameworks that are enforced by an impartial regulatory body for the full protection of stakeholders, and transparency, responsibility, consist, and transparency, responsiveness, consistency, equity and inclusions, so element of good governance, the rules and laws. Good governance requires the fair legal frameworks that are enforced by an impartial regulatory body for the full protection of stakeholders, and transparency, responsibility, equity, effectiveness and efficiency, accountability, participation. So corporate governance practice in Bangladesh, we know the corporate governance is a system of rules, regulation, practice, and process by which the company directed, operated, monitored, controlled, and reviewed with the length of the welfare being to stakeholders. And corporate governance essentially involve balancing the interest of companies, many stakeholders such as financiers, stakeholders, debenture holder, sponsor, management, supplier, consumer, lender, borrowers, creditors, debtors, political activities, pressure group, free rider, CSR, that is corporate social responsibility, government, and the local community. So think there is a lot of stakeholders of an organization, and companies of Bangladesh is incorporated and governed by the Companies Act 1994. It is our mother law. And Bank Companies Act 1991, Financial Institute Act 1993, Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission of 1993 is amended also in 2012, and then Bankruptcy Act 1997, which defines the right and responsibilities of both majority and minority stakeholder. Okay. And the act of the specific provision targeted at protecting the interest of minority shareholders at 10% of the shares. Moreover, the act provides certain supervisory function to the undertaken by the stakeholders through attending the meeting, appointing the removing the directors, and obtaining financial information before approval of the balance sheet of the organization. And shareholders are entered in the participate in the annual general meeting, which must be held once in a calendar year. We know, as per Companies Act, general meeting must be held in a year, and main duties of shareholders are approval of the annual report and audit accounts for the company, appointment of the auditors and reporters of their honorarium, appointment of reappointment and removal of the directors, and election of the board of directors, etc. If you see here the corporate governance guidelines in Bangladesh, In the year 2006 is the first time corporate governance guidelines published by the Securities and Exchange Commission for the listed company. And the guidelines were not compulsory for the listed companies, but the reasons for non-compliance of the provision of the guidelines had to explain to the commission, because that was not mandatory. Just explain it, yes or no. So again, corporate governance guidelines in the year 2012, Securities and Exchange Commission published. That was the mandatory. So that time it replaced to the previous one issued in 2006. Okay. And in another side, in Bangladesh Bank issued its latest corporate governance guidelines, so BRPD circular number 11 in the year 2013, and also BRPD circular letter 18, 19, and represented with the supervised the earlier guidelines issued for the time to time, and BRPD circular number 11 of 2013 deals with the provision for regarding removal and responsibilities of the board of directors. And all banks companies listed incorporated in the Bangladesh as per the BRPD circular 11 2013 incorporated in the provision relating the appointment and responsibility of the chief executive officer of all banks doing business in the Bangladesh except the specialized bank. BRPD circular letter number 19 issued also 2013 deals with the provision regarding contractual appointment of advisor and consultant of all banks doing business in Bangladesh. It is also the corporate governance for the banks. And again, in the year 2018, Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission issued Corporate Governance Code. This is the mandatory, and it's replaced the previous all CG guidelines. So look here, it is the reference of Securities and Exchange Commission notification. It is the 3rd June 2018. It is the corporate governance copy. I am attaching with total with my drive. You can download it. So now we are going to discuss summary of Corporate Governance Code 2018. So the main theme of these guidelines, it was the 100% compulsory, and Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission, a code of governance in June 18, it asked to listed companies to comply with those, that means role and responsibility. It's the code requires the company to separately split out details, roles, responsibilities, and codes of conduct for the chairman, all directors, managing directors, chief executive officer, company secretary, chief financial officer, head of internal audit and compliance, audit committee, and nomination and remuneration committee. All these are to be posted in the detail on the company's website. It is the mandatory issue. And then management decision, the code required the companies to add to the annual board meeting to management decision and analysis signed by the CEO or MD, which should include, among other things, the following: competitive analysis, okay, including effect of inflation of financial performance or result and financial position as well as the cash flow for current financial year with immediate preceding 5 years and explain the reasons therefore. And also we know that in the cash flow we have to calculate in the direct method. You know, Contin, we are preparing financial statement and cash flow is one of the vital part, and as per the International Accounting Standard 1 para 10, there is mentioning that the component of financial statement. So, and that means we're seeing that as per the IS International Accounting Standard 7 cash flow statement, we see that there are 3 types of activities: operating activities, investment activities, and financing activities. So cash flow deals with these 3 activities. So here, as per the securities rules, cash flow should be under direct method. So we have to know that what is direct method, what is indirect method. Okay, so then compare with the financial performance and result and financial position as well as the cash flow of the peer industry scenario. Then briefly explain the financial economic scenario of the country and globe. Risks and concerns relating to the financial statement. Explain the company's plan for mitigate the risks. Okay. That also separation of the top executive, director, the CEO of listed company shall not hold the same position in another listed company. Okay. And compliance checklist, the directives require the company to obtain a certificate from any participating professional regarding compliance with the Code of Corporate Governance of the Commission, and such certificate has to be disclosed in the annual report. Okay. So, and contents of the annual report would be, apart from many other usual items, the annual report of the company shall have to include at least the following statement: that's been director's profile, director's report, management disclosure, certification by the CEO and CFO, audit committee report, nomination and remuneration committee report, competitive financial data, patents and shareholders, compliance checklist, and certificate of compliance. The new code of corporate governance issued by Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission is definitely an improvement over the earlier one. Okay, the most significant inclusion happened to be the required nomination and remuneration committee for the companies. Okay. Now, if you see the corporate governance code in briefly, look here. In the corporate governance code, number 1 condition is that is a board of directors. That means within that, the size of the board. What would be the size of the board? It said that board shall not be less 5 and not more than 20. So it is the condition. And the independent director, the 1/5 would be the independent director. And qualification of independent director, duty and chairperson of the board of directors and managing director or CEO, the director's report of shareholders, meeting to the board of directors, code of conduct for the chairperson, other board committee and chief executive officer. And then governance of board of directors subsidiary company. Number 3, managing director or CEO, chief financial officer, head of internal audit and compliance, and company secretary. How it happened and requirement to attend the board of meeting, duty and responsibility, and board of directors committee. Number 4. So at least 2 committees should have in every company is the audit committee and nomination and risk management. And as per the Bangladesh Bank guidelines, we have a circular, also it should be risk management committee also. And audit committee, number 5 condition, responsibility of the board of directors, constitution of audit committee, chairperson of the audit committee would be the chairman of the audit committee. As per the security guideline, an independent director would be the chairman of audit committee. And meeting of the audit committee, roles of audit committee, reporting to the audit committee, report to the board of directors, report to the authorities, report to the shareholder and general investor, and nomination and remuneration committee, NRC. So, responsibility of the NRC, constitution of the NRC, chairperson of the NRC, meeting of the NRC, role of the NRC, and external or statutory auditors, related issue, number 7. Number 8, maintenance of website by the company. And number 9, report and compliance to the corporate governance. And included, and it's a ray, it is the declaration of financial statement for the year, and this declaration certified by the CEO or MD and Chief Financial Officer. Look, it is the condition. And then certification to the shareholder, the independence certificate, okay. And then Annex 3, it is the condition, that means a total condition as per the number have to comply everything, serial number 1A up to 93. So we also see that, look, this is the original guidelines, that means corporate code. It has 32 pages. Please download it and read it. Keep in your hand. Please download it and read it. Everything is there. And if possible, I will release a video in future with this corporate governance code. So it is the total, look here, size of the board of director, independent director. This way, declaring everything is here. Just read it, you will understand everything. And we are going to see, and we are going to give you the sample, this code. It is the demo of corporate governance code by a listed bank. So it is the declaration, MD and CEO for, and the certification of a independent certificate, and this is the compliance system. Look, is complied or not, remarks, everything is here. If you view any annual report, you can see it as a listed. So it's for today. Today we discussed corporate governance. It's a vital part. And key element of corporate governance practices in Bangladesh, corporate governance code 2018, and a brief of corporate governance code 2018, and reporting and compliance corporate governance. So it's for today. We will meet with you again with my next module of business ethics. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.